Hello and welcome back to Unboxing, where I make old family recipes. So I'm in my new apartment, as you can probably tell, and you're like, that's a bad camera angle, and you have like not a lot of space. Well, that's just because that's the way my kitchen is now. I have a fridge, I have a sink, I have my microwave, and I have my stove, and that's all the counter space I have. So I have a cutting board laying over my sink, which is the way I'm gonna have extra counter space. So this is probably gonna be a little awkward with angles and such, but I will do my best to make it not super weird, and I'll like display things for the camera. But today we're going to be retrying a recipe. We're going to be retrying the Porcupine Meatball recipe, parentheses Moody. For a while I didn't want to do unboxing because I felt like in my current condition, or like I just started a job about 2 months ago, and I wanted to like get into the apartment and kind of settle in a little bit, that I wanted to make food that was practical. I don't have a lot of space, so I felt like making a whole dessert is a bit much, especially if I don't have anywhere to put it and I don't have the space to like dedicate to 2 or 3 things at a time. So we're gonna go with I don't know what that was. We're gonna go with the Porcupine Meatballs, which is something that I will eat. I enjoyed it last time. The key difference is this time we're going to be leaving it in the oven for a full 2 hours. I found a similar recipe that said it should be set for 150 for about an hour and a half, so I think that should work well with these, especially because you don't cook the meat in these beforehand at all. You can just like throw them in the oven. Speaking of which, I should preheat my oven. 200 is the lowest setting on my oven, so that's what I'm gonna go with. It's off 200. So yeah, another change that we're going to have is the recipe called for ground beef and ground pork. Last time I went to the grocery store, I could not find ground pork, so we're just going with, I think, about 1.5 to 2 pounds of ground beef. It's about the same, it should turn out the same, but the main reason we're doing this is because last time, since it wasn't in the oven for 2 hours, the rice did not cook properly, and it was just kind of like crunchy, which is not what you want out of a meatball. So hopefully, having them in the oven for the full 2 hours will make them softer and easier to eat. So with all those disclaimers out of the way, let's get started, I guess. Okay, so we have our bowl here, and I'm just gonna start with our ground beef. Which has been supposed to be defrosting this entire time. And it's still solid as rock. Okay, well, pardon me while I defrost my meat. Since we're waiting for the meat to still defrost to add to this mixture, I'm going to go ahead and start on the sauce mixture. So we'll just put this there in the saucepan. The last ingredient we need for the actual meatballs themselves is hot milk, which is going to be going in the microwave. So more microwave noises, ambient microwave noises to study to. Once the milk goes in the microwave, I'll put it back in here, combine it all, and then the sauce, which was in the Red Bull, also has to be heated up. I'm just following the recipe, dude. Needs to be heated up. So lots of microwave noises for you today. I hope you like it. You can't see it, and I'm kind of glad. There's just a pile of meat in one of the corners. And then we add our tomato soup.
Delicious. Chance to even out a little bit.
Okay, so that's like all the prep work done. 1.5 pounds of meat, which I had to just ground beef because again I cut it fine ground pork. There's a cup of dry rice, 1 chopped onion, teaspoon of chili powder, teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of hot milk made into balls, and then you pour on top tomato soup, milk, half a teaspoon chili powder, and then you have to heat it before pouring over. So that's all the steps. The only things that went kind of awry this time when making it, I didn't realize how little chili powder I had. So I just used the rest of what I had, which should be fine. I mean, it wasn't that much to begin with. It's only 1.5 teaspoons. So I probably put about 2 teaspoons in it, but I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. So I'll see you in about 2 hours when these will supposedly be done. Thank goodness the oven is done preheating to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, back in 2 hours. Hello all, slight check-in. It's 2 hours later and I checked the meatballs and they were super pink on the inside, and I couldn't tell if it was like the tomato sauce, which would make it a little pinker, or if the meat wasn't done, and I'm not taking that chance. So what I have done is I've turned the temperature up to 300 and I'm gonna give it another 30 minutes and then check it again, because it's like I would rather overcook them than undercook them, especially when like this is supposed to be my dinner for the next like 2 weeks, so I want to make sure it's edible. See you in like what, 30 minutes? I just took the meatballs out of the oven for hopefully the last time. In true unboxing fashion, I burnt my finger. You can't tell because it just happened, but there might be a band-aid going on it pretty soon. As for the meatballs themselves, let me try and do this. They look very well done. Mostly because again, I wanted to make sure that they were cooked all the way, and it got to a point where I was like, do I burn them? Do I cook them all the way? So in total, they were in the oven, I think, for about 3 hours, 15 minutes, because I did the 2 hours as instructed in the recipe. I did another 30 minutes because I'm like, oh, this will be enough. Those 30 minutes were at, the last hour, 15 minutes was at like 300 degrees. So I don't, like, the rice looks semi more cooked than I remember it being last time. Time will tell. It's too hot to taste test. So I'll be back in maybe 15-ish minutes when it's cool and I can actually finally eat dinner. It's 11:30 at night. All right, I'm sitting in a chair because there's just no room in the kitchen. So, of course my air conditioning kicks on right now. I guess I'll just wait. I want a genuine reaction. So, ignore this the sad one, but here is our first meatball. They are very, very brown, and I think partially that is me cooking it for so long. But you know, it's not necessarily like a bad thing, especially because I was like, I want to make sure they're cooked. You can't see because this is terrible. It just fell apart. Let's just take a bite. It's been so long I don't know how to do food reviews anymore. Oh, come back. Come back. Once again, these are really good. Like, I like all the ingredients in them. However, the rice still feels uncooked. Not burnt, like I was worried about, but uncooked. So I wonder if the solution would be to cook it for longer. Like, do the whole 2 hours thing, but maybe at a higher temperature, because after those 2 hours, the meatballs were not even cooked a little bit. Because it doesn't specify on the recipe card. And the recipe I was referencing, you actually fry the meatballs first, so you don't have to like cook them all the way through. So I wonder if what to do would be like maybe 300, 350 for a couple hours, because even at 350, at 300, it still took like an hour for these to cook. So I don't know. I still really like this recipe. I'll obviously keep it. I mean, like, it's a good meatball, but I still have not figured out the mystery of the rice. I know the rice is supposed to like slowly cook in the oven, like that's the idea, the slow cook, but I haven't been able to get it right. I don't know how, but I'll get there someday. Anyway, I need to like eat dinner, and my body, I took a bite and my whole body was like, oh, food, finally. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Feel free to not interact with the video, and I'll see you whenever I get around to it next time. Bye.